Hola clase, hoy vamos a empezar la gramática para capítulo 3. Hay 3 conceptos que vamos a aprender hoy. Okay, first we're going to talk about using ir plus a plus the infinitive. You use this structure to say what is going to happen. Okay, so it might be common for you to say, I am going to study, or we are going to walk. Anything like that that has going to with a verb is going to use this structure. Okay, for this structure you need the present tense of ir plus a plus the infinitive. So if you said, I am going to study, you would say, voy a estudiar. Okay, let's take a closer look at a few examples here. I'm going to listen to music, and we are going to go to the game. These are simple Spanish 1 sentences. You would say, for I'm going to listen to music, voy a escuchar música. And we are going to go to the game, vamos a ir al partido. Okay, this is a very simple structure that you learned in Spanish 1 in order to be able to talk about the future tense. Okay, today we are going to learn the future tense, something you saw in Spanish 3, so this is going to be a quick review for you. The future tense is you're going to use it anytime you want to say, I will study, we will walk, they will talk, etc. To form it, step 1, you must leave the verb in the infinitive. Then you will add these endings, a, as, a, hemos, an. You don't need to worry about the vosotros, the es. Okay, I'm just purely showing you in case you would like to write it down or learn it. You may have a professor in college, or perhaps you'll study abroad in Spain, and the vosotros will be important. Let's look at some examples of how the structure will look. If we have hablar, which means to talk, to put it in the future tense, it will look like this. Hablaré, hablarás, hablará, hablaremos, hablarán. Notice you do need a written accent everywhere except for in the we form, and that's just to move your stress to the correct syllable. Let's look at the conjugation for comer in the future tense. We have comeré, comerás, comerá, comeremos, comerán. Okay, an easy way to remember these future tense endings, okay, is that your e's are in the yo and the we. So the e's are at the top. All the rest of these endings are a's. Okay, they start with an a. Just a little hint here that might help you in remembering these endings. Okay, let's look at the conditional tense. Anytime you would like to say, I would study, I would call you, I would go to the game, you're going to use the conditional tense. It is formed almost exactly like the future tense. Okay, look at the similarities in the steps here. Step 1, you're going to leave the verb in the infinitive. And step 2, you will add a set of endings. Here's where they differ in their endings. Your conditional endings are ia, ias, ia, íamos, ian. Okay, let's look at how hablar and comer would be conjugated. Hablar in the conditional tense would be hablaría, hablarías, hablaría, hablaríamos, hablarían. Comer would be comería, comerías, comería, comeríamos, comerían. Okay, so the future and the conditional tense are formed very similarly. Okay, you're going to leave the verb in the infinitive, then you're going to add the set of endings. When is that not the case? When can you not just leave the verb in the infinitive? Okay, that will occur with these 12 verbs that are irregular. You have this chart on your note guide, except you are missing these irregular stems. You'll have to fill those out as we go over them. So for these 12 irregular verbs, for example with caber, you can't just take caber and put the ending on the end. So for example, I will fit, it is not caberé, it is cabré. Same thing would be for decir. If you were putting decir in the conditional tense, to say I would say, you wouldn't say deciría, okay? It would be diría. All right, so let's copy these down. Caber, to fit, its irregular stem is going to be cab. Decir, to say or to tell, its irregular stem is dir. Hacer, to do or make, its irregular stem is ar. Poder, to be able to or can, is pod. Poner, to put, place, or set, its irregular stem is pon. Querer, to want, its irregular stem is quer. Saber, to know, information or facts, its irregular stem is sab. Salir, to leave, its irregular stem is sal. Tener, to have, its irregular stem is ten. Valer, to be worth, its irregular stem is val. Venir, to come, its irregular stem, vendre. And haber. Now, haber has a star next to it. Something you should know about haber. It's that verb that only has one form in all the tenses it exists in, okay, unless it's a helping verb. So, in the present tense, you saw haber as the word I. I means there is or there are. In the imperfect, you saw haber as había. That meant there was, there were. In the preterite, you saw it as hubo. There was, there were. So here, haber only has one form for the future tense and only one form for the conditional tense. So the word habrá means there will be, as in there will be a test on Friday. Habrá un examen el viernes. For the conditional tense, it would be habría. There would be. Okay, there would be a game, but it's raining. Habría un partido, pero llueve. Okay, so for the rest of these verbs, you take the irregular stem and add their endings. Okay, so for caber, if you were putting it in the conditional tense, its conjugation would be cabría, cabrías, cabría, cabríamos, cabrían. Okay, so you just take the irregular stem and put it with the endings. Okay, let's do a little bit of practice here for these three concepts. First up, I'd like you to practice with ir plus a plus the infinitive. Take a moment here, pause me if you need, and translate these two sentences using ir plus a plus the infinitive. Okay, let's review. What are you going to do? ¿Qué vas a hacer? I'm going to study for 2 hours. Voy a estudiar por 2 horas. Okay, let's practice with the future and the conditional. You'll notice you've got 7 here. The first 4 are future tense. The last 3 are conditional. Do watch out for ones that are starred. That means, hey, look at me, I'm irregular. Okay, also be careful on number 6. The verb to shower is reflexive. The infinitive is ducharse. Okay, we'll do number 1 together, then I'd like you to pause me and work through the rest. I will visit many places. The verb to visit, visitar. So your future tense ending would be visitaré. Okay, visitaré muchos lugares. Please pause me and complete numbers 2 through 7. Okay, number 2. She will see many cities. Ella verá. 3. They will write me. Ellos me escribirán. 4. You will make dinner. Tú harás. 5. You would read that book. Tú leerías. 6. I would shower before leaving. Me ducharía. And 7. We would leave at 8. Nosotros saldríamos. Okay, if you have any questions on these 3 concepts, please write them down on your note guide. I would also like you to read pages 59 through 61 in your Conversación y Repaso book. Okay, just to reinforce what we have learned here today. Okay, muchas gracias. Adiós.